The office was silent except for the faint hum of the servers. My fingers shook as I entered the final string of numbers. The transfer bar blinked. Loading, confirming, done. $50 million. Gone from Hayes Corporation. Gone from her. My heart pounded so loud I could barely hear the air conditioner. I leaned back, staring at the screen. "That's it," I whispered. "I'm done. Ethan, you sure about this?" Ryan's voice echoed in my earpiece. He was across town, monitoring the same system. "I don't have a choice," I said. "She took everything from me. This is all that's left." "You're talking about Clara again, aren't you?" "I'm talking about the woman who ruined my life and smiled doing it." I unplugged the flash drive and shoved it into my coat pocket. "You ever watch someone destroy you piece by piece and thank you for the privilege?" "Bro, she's your wife." "Was," I snapped. "Was." He sighed through static. "Just get out. Don't look back. I'll cover the trace for an hour. After that, I'll be gone." My palms were slick. I glanced around the empty office. Dark glass walls, a skyline painted in silver and blue. Her empire, my prison. Every step toward the door felt heavier. I thought about the years I'd given her, the sleepless nights, the ideas she'd claimed as her own, the love I mistook for loyalty. I reached for the elevator button when a light blinked on behind me. Her office door. No, she wasn't supposed to be here. I froze, breath held. "Ethan?" The voice was faint, familiar, cold. "Clara." I didn't move. Maybe she was just passing through. Maybe she hadn't seen the open account, but the sound of her heels drew closer. Precise, confident. Every click echoed like a countdown. "Late night?" she asked, her tone too calm. I turned slowly, forcing a smile. "Couldn't sleep. Just finishing reports." Her eyes flicked to the monitor behind me. "Reports? The kind that require offshore routing?" My stomach dropped. "What?" She stepped closer, arms crossed, a faint smirk playing at her lips. "You think I wouldn't notice a $50 million transfer from my company account?" "Come on, Ethan. You were always smarter than this." I felt my pulse hammering in my throat. "You've been spying on me." "Monitoring," she corrected, tapping her tablet. "There's a difference. One is illegal. The other is business," I swallowed hard. "You had no right. I have every right. You're still my CFO, and my husband. Not for long." Something flickered in her eyes. Hurt, maybe, or something colder. "So that's it? You just vanish? Take my money and disappear? Your money?" I laughed bitterly. "I built half this company. You just signed the papers. You were paid for your work." "I was owned," I said quietly. "Every decision I made was yours. Every success became yours. Every mistake, mine." She took a slow step forward.
"Then why didn't you leave before?"
"I believed you'd change." "People don't change, Ethan. That's the first honest thing you've said to me in years." Her jaw tightened. "You're emotional. You always are when you feel cornered." "I'm not cornered," I said, though my voice trembled. "I'm free," she smiled faintly. "Free from what? Responsibility? Love yourself? From you." The words came out sharper than I meant, slicing through the space between us. For a moment, she looked almost human, eyes softer, mouth trembling. Then she straightened, mask restored. "You think this ends with you running off and playing hero with stolen money?" "I don't care how it ends. I just need it to end." She tilted her head, studying me. "And what will you do? Hide forever? You can't disappear from me, Ethan. You know that. Watch me." Her laugh was soft, dangerous, still dramatic. "Still pretending you're the victim. I was the victim. Until tonight." "Then congratulations," she said, stepping past me toward the door. "You finally beat me at my own game." Her perfume lingered as she paused by the window. The city glowed beneath her reflection. "You always wanted control," she said quietly. "Maybe that's why I liked you. You were the only one who didn't bow." I clenched my fists. "You liked breaking me, not loving me." She turned, eyes locked on mine. "And you loved being broken, admit it. You needed someone to blame." "I needed someone to believe in." Her expression faltered, just for a heartbeat. "Don't make me the villain, Ethan. We both chose this." "You chose power," I said. "I chose you. And that was your mistake." Silence pressed between us. The city buzzed beyond the glass. Ryan's voice broke through the earpiece again. "Ethan, you need to move now. She's tracing the account." I ripped out the earpiece and slipped it into my pocket. Clara's gaze darted to my hand. Still taking orders from your little hacker friend? He's the only person who hasn't lied to me. Her lips curved faintly. That's adorable. I stepped toward the exit. Goodbye, Clara. She didn't move. You'll regret this. I already do. Her eyes followed me to the door. You think money will make you happy? No, but at least it's mine. I grabbed the handle, but something in her tone froze me. You always said you wanted freedom, she murmured. But freedom isn't leaving, it's winning. I'm done playing. She laughed again, low and quiet. You think you can stop? I turned. What does that mean? She walked toward me slowly, her heels echoing like a heartbeat. It means I know you, better than you know yourself. You'll run, you'll hide, and then you'll come back, because that's who you are. You can't live without the fight. You're wrong. Am I? I looked at her, really looked. The woman I once loved stood there, untouchable, unreadable, the world bending around her will. I wanted to hate her, but all I felt was exhaustion. I don't want to fight anymore, I whispered. Then surrender. No. Her smile widened. Then you're still mine. The elevator doors slid open with a chime. I stepped inside, pressing the button for the lobby. My reflection stared back, tired eyes, shaking hands, a ghost in a suit. As the doors began to close, her voice sliced through the quiet. I already know. Ethan. The doors sealed shut and the world stopped breathing. The elevator doors opened to the top floor again before I could stop myself. Maybe it was adrenaline or maybe I just needed answers. The hallway stretched like a tunnel of glass and silence, her office glowing faintly at the end. I stepped inside without knocking. Clara was already there. Perfect posture, perfect calm. Her desk light painted her in gold and shadow. You think I didn't know about your little plan? She said softly. I froze. What plan? Her lips curved. Don't insult me. I don't know what you're talking about. You really should have used a different server. Offshore accounts leave a trail. She leaned back, watching me like a cat with a mouse. Though I have to admit, 50 million is ambitious. I almost respected it. Almost? Almost, she repeated, tapping her pen against the desk. If you weren't so obvious, I laughed once dry. You're bluffing. You can't prove anything. I don't need proof. I have you. Her eyes met mine, steady, unblinking. The same look she used when she negotiated billion-dollar contracts. The same look she gave me the night we married. Why are you doing this? I asked quietly. You already have everything. Correction, she said. I had everything until my husband decided to betray me. Don't twist this. Betrayal is betrayal. Ethan, whether it's a secret lover or a stolen wire transfer. You betrayed me first, I shot back. Years ago, when you turned my work into your empire. Her voice dropped. You think success came without sacrifice? I built Hayes Corp while you hid behind spreadsheets and guilt. I was trying to keep us honest. She smiled. There's no such thing as honest money, Ethan. You should know that by now. I ran a hand through my hair. So what now? You're going to turn me in? Not yet. Then what do you want? She stood, moving around the desk. I want to make you an offer. I almost laughed. An offer? After all this? Keep the money, she said. What? You heard me. She stopped in front of me so close I could smell her perfume, cold jasmine and threat. Keep every cent, but you'll work for me again. 1 month. One last project. After that, you can vanish. I stared at her. You're insane. Maybe, but you're still listening. I don't work for you anymore. She tilted her head. You never stopped. Even when you tried to steal from me, you still played by my rules. Don't flatter yourself, she smiled faintly. Tell me you're not curious. About what? Why I'm letting you walk away with my money? I don't care why. Yes, you do. Her voice was low, calm. Because deep down, you know I don't do charity. So if I'm giving you something, it means there's a reason. I exhaled sharply. You want something else in return? Always, she said. But this time, it's not what you think. What's the project? Her eyes glinted. Something only you can finish. Something we started before you decided to play thief. I'm not helping you clean your mess, she smiled. It's not my mess. It's ours. I looked away, gripping the back of a chair. I should walk out right now. You won't. You think you know me that well? I know you completely. The certainty in her voice made my chest tighten. You don't know what I'm capable of anymore. Oh, but I do, she said. You're angry, reckless, and tired of being powerless. That's exactly why you'll say yes. Try me. She took a step closer, her voice a whisper. If I turn you in, you lose everything. The money, your reputation, your freedom. If you take my offer, you keep the money and your dignity. For 1 month, we work together. You walk away clean. No strings? No strings? I laughed bitterly. You're incapable of that. Maybe, she said. But I'm offering peace. Just once. I don't believe you. You don't have to. Just decide, I hesitated. The silence between us was heavy, stretching thin like glass ready to crack. Why me? I asked finally. You could hire anyone, she looked almost sad. Because you're the only one who ever understood me. For a second, I saw something human in her expression. Regret, maybe even longing. But it vanished before I could name it. This is a game, I said. Another way to trap me. Then don't play, she said simply. Walk away, Ethan, but you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what I was planning. My pulse quickened. She knew exactly which nerve to touch. You're manipulating me. Of course I am. You taught me how. I wanted to hate her for that smirk, for the calm in her eyes, for the way my heart still reacted to her voice. Say yes, she whispered. I don't trust you. Good. Trust makes people weak. I should turn you in first. Her brows lifted. And explain why you were wiring money at midnight? You'd go down with me. My throat tightened. You thought of everything. I always do. We stared at each other, two people who knew too much, who'd already lost too much. I finally spoke. 1 month. That's all, she nodded slowly. 1 month. Then you're free, you promise? Her smile was almost gentle. I don't make promises, Ethan, I make contracts. I sighed. Then draw one up. Already did, she said, sliding a folder across the desk. You sign. You keep the money. We finish the project. Then we pretend this never happened. I opened the folder. My signature line waited at the bottom like a trap. You're unbelievable, I muttered. And yet, she said softly, you're still here. I looked at her, searching for some hint of truth. But all I saw was reflection, mine in her eyes, hers in mine. When I finally picked up the pen, she smiled. Welcome back, she whispered. Days bled together after I signed that damn contract. Same office. Same silence. Only difference, Clara smiled now. That was somehow worse. Coffee? She asked one morning, holding out a cup. I don't drink the company poison anymore, I said. She smirked. Still paranoid? Still cautious. Same thing, she replied, setting the cup beside me anyway. You look tired. Maybe because I'm working for my ex-wife under a 1-month death sentence. That's dramatic. Even for you. Everything with you is dramatic, I said. She laughed softly, her gaze fixed on the skyline. You used to like that about me. I used to like a lot of things that ruined me. Her smile didn't fade. You always make pain sound poetic. I turned back to the screen, ignoring her tone, the way her voice softened on my name. What's this project really about, Clara? She leaned on the desk. You'll know when it's finished, so never? Maybe sooner than you think. Ryan's call flashed on my phone. I stepped out to answer. Tell me you haven't fallen for it, he said immediately. I'm working, not falling, he snorted. She's got you exactly where she wants you. Relax, I'm not that stupid. You were stupid enough to marry her. I sighed. Don't remind me. Seriously, man, I checked the system logs. The project files you're accessing. They're linked to a private archive under her name. It's locked tighter than federal accounts, meaning she's hiding something. Don't trust what she tells you. I never did. Then act like it, he warned. She's not being kind because she forgave you. She's baiting you. Maybe, but I need to see where this goes. Ryan groaned. Ethan, trust me, I said, cutting the call. When I turned, Clara was standing by the door, arms crossed. Ryan still playing the loyal watchdog? You were listening? I own the building. That's not an excuse, it's a fact. She walked closer. You know, he's right about one thing. You're easy to bait. Because I care? Because you pretend not to. I met her gaze. What do you want from me, Clara? Her lips curved faintly. Just results? Liar, she paused. What do you think I want? I don't know anymore. Then stop guessing. She turned toward her office, but her voice lingered. You'll see soon enough. Hours later, the office was empty again. Midnight glow, city lights bleeding through glass. My laptop hummed quietly, the code shifting across the screen like a secret whisper. She appeared beside me, barefoot, holding a glass of wine. Still working? Some of us earn our money. I already earned mine, she said, sitting on the edge of the desk. You just helped me keep it. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Enjoying what? Watching me crawl back, she tilted her head. You came willingly. I came to finish what I started. Her eyes glimmered. And what was that exactly? Freedom. She smiled, slow and sad. You still don't get it. Freedom isn't walking away, it's knowing you could. That's your excuse for owning people? That's my explanation for surviving. I leaned back, studying her. You've changed, have I? You're softer, she laughed. Don't mistake restraint for softness. Then why act like you care? Her eyes flicked to mine. Because I do, I froze. You expect me to believe that? You always needed proof. Not everything can be measured in numbers, Ethan. Coming from you, that's rich. People grow, she said quietly. Even monsters. Then prove it. Tell me why you made this deal, she swirled the wine. Because I wanted to see if you'd take it. That's it? No, her voice dropped. Because I missed you. My chest tightened. You're lying again. Maybe. She took a slow sip. But lies sound a lot like truth when you want to believe them. Stop playing games. Then stop pretending you don't care. I stood, anger simmering beneath the exhaustion. You humiliated me, Clara. You made me nothing. I made you stronger, she said, standing too. Look at you now, angry, alive. You needed someone to break you open. You think that's love? I think that's honesty, I shook my head. You twist everything. Only what's already bent. The air between us pulsed, heavy and sharp. She stepped closer, her voice a whisper. Tell me the truth. When you wired that money, did you really plan to leave me? Or did you want me to stop you? My throat went dry. You think I wanted this? You could have vanished, Ethan, but you didn't. You came back. I had to. Why? Because you left me no choice. Her eyes softened. There's always a choice. I looked away. Not with you. Silence stretched. She set her glass down gently, almost careful. You hate me, she said. I should, but you don't. I clenched my fists. Don't assume. She touched my arm lightly. You never really wanted to leave, did you? I felt the breath leave my chest. You don't get to say that, but it's true. I took a step back, heart pounding. You manipulate every word, every emotion. She smiled faintly. And yet, you still listen. Because I need to understand why you do it. Maybe I'm just testing if you still feel anything. I feel disgusted. Liar. Her whisper cut through me, sharp and soft all at once. I wanted to scream, to walk out, but my body didn't move. Go home, she said gently, before you remember what we were. What we were? I repeated. We were a mistake. Maybe. Her eyes lingered on me, but not one you can forget. I turned toward the door, but her voice followed me. See you tomorrow, Ethan. And for reasons I couldn't name, I didn't answer. I couldn't sleep. Every click of the office clock sounded like accusation. The code on my screen blurred into static. I kept seeing her face, the moment it all started falling apart. Can't you just trust me? Clara had asked that night 2 years ago. I do, I'd said back then. But why did you remove my name from the proposal? It wasn't personal, Ethan. The board needed a single figurehead. You needed one, I'd shot back. You used my data, my designs, and called them yours. She'd smiled, gentle and cruel. If you want recognition, earn it again. That was when something broke in me. A soft knock snapped me out of the memory. You're still here? Mara stood by the doorway, clutching a stack of files. Seems like I never left, I muttered. She stepped closer. You shouldn't be alone in this place after hours. Why? Scared I'll steal something again? Her expression faltered. You shouldn't joke about that. I wasn't. She hesitated, glancing around before lowering her voice. Can I tell you something off the record? I'm listening. There's talk, she whispered. Oliver and the board, they've been running internal audits. They're saying the offshore transfer wasn't your idea. I frowned. You mean the 50 million? She nodded. They think someone else initiated it before you. That's impossible. I coded the sequence myself. Maybe not alone, she said. Check your logs. There's another signature in the trail, encrypted but familiar. Whose? She looked toward Clara's office, lights still glowing behind the glass. You already know, my stomach tightened. That doesn't make sense. She caught me. Why would she? Maybe she didn't catch you, Mara interrupted. Maybe she set you up. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. Lena's name flashed. I stepped into the hallway. Ethan. Her voice trembled. Please tell me you're not still working with her. I don't have a choice. You always have a choice, she said. I warned you what she does. She isolates you, makes you doubt yourself, then turns everything against you. I'm not the same man she broke. Then why do you sound exactly like him? I exhaled. Because I need answers. She's not going to give them, Lena said. She's going to use you again. Walk away before you forget who you are. I can't, not yet. Ethan, I'll call you tomorrow. I hung up before she could argue. The hallway felt colder now. When I turned, Clara was standing there, silent. How much did you hear? I asked. Enough, she said softly. Lena still blames me for everything, doesn't she? She's right to. Clara tilted her head. Do you believe her? I believe facts. Then check them. She brushed past me, perfume lingering like memory. You'll see I'm not your villain this time. Her words stayed in my head as I opened the system logs. Mara wasn't lying. There was another encryption key buried deep beneath mine. Same access pattern. Same timestamp. Only one person could have mirrored that level of access, the CEO. My pulse spiked. Why would she forge my signature? Because she knew you'd take the blame, I whispered to myself. I tried retracing the data path, decrypting fragments of her hidden files. Halfway through, a message popped up. Access denied, administrative override, Clara Hayes. I slammed the desk. Of course, Mara reappeared in the doorway, pale. You shouldn't dig that deep. Why not? Because if she knows you're looking, she'll make sure you're gone before you find it. Then I'll be faster. You don't get it, she said urgently. It's not just her. Oliver's behind this too. They're planning something at the next board meeting. You're the distraction. What kind of distraction? The kind that ends careers, she said. And maybe lives. A chill crawled through me. You're saying they're framing me for embezzlement? I'm saying the numbers point to you, but the money's somewhere else entirely. Where? She hesitated, eyes darting to the ceiling cameras. I can't say here, but if you want proof, come to the sub-level archives tomorrow night, alone. I stared at her. You're risking your job telling me this. Maybe some things are worth risking. And if you're wrong? She swallowed. Then we're both finished. When she left, the silence roared back. My reflection in the glass stared at me like a stranger, haunted, tired, unsure which version of the truth to believe. For months, I thought I was the thief. The desperate husband running from guilt. But maybe I was just another pawn on Clara's board, and if that was true, then the real game was only beginning. Detective Hahn's badge glinted under the ceiling lights as he stepped into the conference room. Ethan Ward? He said, flipping open a file. Yeah, I answered, forcing my voice steady. He scanned me over his glasses. Hayes Corporation's offshore accounts are under review. You're listed as the primary executor. Executor doesn't mean thief. Maybe, he said, but 50 million doesn't move itself. Clara's heels clicked against the marble as she entered. Detective Hahn, she said smoothly, I hope this is official. Because if it isn't, I'll have our legal department eat you alive. He smirked. Always a pleasure, Mrs. Hayes. I'm just doing my job. Then do it somewhere else, she said. My husband didn't steal a cent. I blinked. My husband? The words hit harder than I expected. Hahn arched a brow. You're vouching for him? Publicly and legally, she said. Now leave. He closed the folder slowly. For your sake, I hope you're right. When the door shut behind him, I exhaled hard. You didn't have to do that. I did, she replied, settling into a chair. You're not the criminal here. Then why the sudden faith? You've been testing me since the day I walked back in. Clara crossed her legs, eyes unreadable, because I needed to see how far you'd go before breaking. Breaking, I repeated. You wanted me desperate? I wanted to know if you'd still chase truth when it stopped benefiting you. That's twisted. Maybe, she said, but it worked. I ran a hand through my hair. So what now? You tell the detective I'm innocent and the company magically forgives me? She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she slid a folder toward me. Look at the timestamps. The spreadsheet showed wire transfers linked to Oliver's name, small sums spread over months, disguised as consulting fees. Ryan found this, she said. He's been digging since last night. I frowned. Oliver's been skimming company funds. Exactly. He's been using your credentials to mask his trail. Then we take this to Han. Clear my name. She shook her head. Not yet. Not yet? I snapped. You want him to keep walking free? I want him to hang himself, she said coldly. We need him to think he's still safe. That's not justice, I said. That's revenge, her gaze hardened. Maybe they're the same thing sometimes. Silence filled the room. I stared at her, trying to read the woman who once shared my bed and now spoke like a strategist. Why defend me in front of him if you're still playing games? I asked. Because I don't want anyone else touching what's mine, she said. I almost laughed. I'm not your possession. No, she said quietly. You're my consequence. Ryan burst through the door then, face pale. He's wiping the servers. What? I stood up. Oliver. He's deleting the audit logs. We only have partial backups. Clara grabbed her phone. Lock his access. Already tried, Ryan said. He's using admin clearance. Mine, she whispered. He cloned my credentials. I stared at her. Now do you see what happens when you wait too long? Her eyes flicked to me. Don't start. Don't start, I said. You wanted him exposed. Now he's erasing proof. Not all of it, Ryan said quickly. There's a residual log in the finance cloud. If we get in before midnight, we can trace his IP. Clara nodded. Do it. Ryan hesitated. We'll need Ethan's encryption key to unlock it. All eyes turned to me. Of course you do. Please, Clara said. The word didn't sound like her. I hesitated, fingers hovering over the keyboard. If I help you, this ends tonight. No more tests. No more lies. Agreed. I entered the code, my heart pounding. The server hummed, screens flickering with streams of data. There, Ryan said. Found him. Remote access from a private terminal downtown. Send it to Han, Clara ordered. Wait, I said, catching her wrist. You said not yet. Her expression softened. Sometimes the game changes. Or maybe you finally decided whose side you're on, I said. She met my gaze. Maybe there aren't sides anymore. Ryan looked between us awkwardly. Should I, go? Do it, Clara said. He nodded and hurried out. The moment he left, she leaned back, eyes closed. You think I'm a monster, don't you? I think you're dangerous, I said. And yet you're still here. I need answers. You'll get them, she murmured. Just remember, when this falls apart, the truth won't save either of us. I looked at her and realized something unsettling. She wasn't afraid of losing. She was planning how to control the fall, and for the first time, I didn't know if I wanted to stop her. The boardroom smelled of polished wood and stale ambition. I took a seat at the head, facing a room full of executives who once respected me, or at least pretended to. Oliver sat across, smug, hands folded. Ethan, he said, voice silky. We need to address the recent transfer of $50 million. Your signature appears on every log. How do you explain this? I leaned back. Explain? I already told Detective Han, and I'll tell you again. I didn't touch a cent that wasn't mine to manage, he smirked. Cute, but the logs don't lie. I glanced at Clara, sitting beside me, serene as ever. She didn't flinch. She never did. I'd suggest checking his personal account, she said softly. The room froze. Heads turned. Murmurs started. Oliver blinked. What? Check his personal account, Clara repeated, voice calm but ice cold. Every transfer you're accusing him of? Not there. He's clean. Oliver's jaw tightened. That's impossible. I felt a flicker of vindication. Finally, the truth had a stage. Clara didn't stop there. She pulled a tablet from her briefcase and swiped through. You, Oliver, on the other hand, every fake transfer points straight to your private accounts. Salaries, consulting fees, fake invoices, you created them all. Congratulations, you've been caught. The room erupted. Shouts, whispers, disbelief. I barely recognized the sound of victory. It was hollow, almost alien. Oliver's face turned red. "This is fabricated, is it?" Clara asked, tilting her head. "You manipulated the books. You even cloned my credentials to cover your tracks. You thought no one would notice." I didn't." "You did," she interrupted, voice steady and sharp. "And now everyone knows it." I watched him crumble in real time. His empire of lies exposed with the precision of a scalpel, and yet all I felt was emptiness. "Clara," I whispered when the room quieted enough for us to hear each other. She leaned in slightly, lips barely moving. "Now you understand why I needed you here." I swallowed, confused. "Why me? I didn't do anything today." "You did exactly what I intended," she said. "You stayed calm, you watched, you understood. You became the instrument, Ethan. The final piece to make this unfold perfectly." I stared at her. "So this was never about trust or forgiveness?" She smiled faintly. "No, those were tools, distractions. This was always about control, power, and payback. You're witnessing it firsthand, and yet you're still alive. That's what matters." I ran a hand through my hair. "You used me again." "You know me," she said softly. "I always do. But this time you saw it coming. That's the difference." "Difference?" I echoed. "You manipulated me to catch a liar, a cheat, a thief." "And you understood the game," she said. "That's why you're still here, still standing." I clenched my fists under the table. "I should hate you." "You won't," she whispered. "You'll never fully hate me. You admire me, and you should. It's skill, not malice." "Skill wrapped in cruelty," I muttered. "Sometimes cruelty is the only way to teach truth," she said, eyes locking with mine. "Oliver learned it the hard way. You learned it the smart way." The murmurs in the boardroom died down. Everyone had witnessed the downfall of a man who thought he could play God with my life, and yet no one clapped. No one cheered. Victory tasted bitter. "You see the stakes now," she whispered. "You see what it takes to survive in this world. This is why I brought you back, why I needed your mind alongside mine. Without you, Oliver's lies might have lasted longer." I shook my head. "I don't know if I can forgive you for dragging me through this. Not this time." "I'm not asking for forgiveness," she said. "I'm asking for awareness. You see, revenge isn't about hatred, it's about balance. And today, balance is restored." I exhaled slowly. "And I was part of it. You were essential," she said. "And that's the truth you need to remember. You think you've walked away from me before. Today proves otherwise." The room remained tense, the board members exchanging uncertain glances. Oliver sat defeated, every lie crumbling like sand slipping through fingers. "You're incredible," I muttered under my breath. "Flattery now?" she whispered, almost amused. "Not flattery. Recognition." She leaned back, serene as always. "Good, because you'll need that clarity for what comes next. Remember, Ethan, you survived the boardroom war, but surviving me, that's the real test." I nodded slowly, understanding fully for the first time. This wasn't about loyalty. This wasn't about justice. It was about her game, and I had played perfectly, and I had seen through it. I stormed into her penthouse, pent-up rage vibrating through every step. Glass walls reflected the city lights, but they couldn't soften the tension I carried. "Clara!" I shouted. She looked up from the wine glass in her hand, serene as ever. "Ethan, what now?" "What now?" I echoed. "What now?" "You know what now? You used me, every step, every move, to prove you could control me." Her lips twitched into a faint smile. Control isn't the word I'd use. "Don't play games," I yelled. "I followed you, obeyed you, trusted you, and all you did was manipulate, push, and trap me." "I tested you," she said calmly, "because I needed to see what?" I barked. "That I'd bend? That I'd break? That I'd become the man you wanted?" Her eyes flickered. Maybe. I laughed bitterly. "Maybe? You destroyed me, Clara. You destroyed my life to prove a point." "Life isn't safe," she said softly. "Love isn't safe. You should have learned that. You loved me?" I asked, disbelief raw. "You loved me while twisting my life into a nightmare?" "I did," she said, voice low. "I loved you more than anything. But love doesn't mean weakness." I stepped closer, shaking. "Weakness?" You called me weak while stealing my work, isolating me, using my own mistakes against me. You turned my loyalty into a weapon. Her eyes darkened, but her voice softened. I wanted us to survive. My father, he taught me, love is leverage. You survive by controlling it, not surrendering to it. I felt bile rise in my throat. Your father? You're justifying this with your father? He shaped me, she said, almost whispering. I didn't want to hurt you, but I needed strength in a world that doesn't forgive weakness. I stared at her, chest heaving, eyes burning. You think strength is measured by breaking someone else? She flinched, almost imperceptibly. Sometimes it is, I laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. You're insane. I learned from the best, she said quietly. I didn't want to be soft. I wanted to be untouchable. You made me untouchable too. Untouchable from you, untouchable from myself. You turned me into a shell, Clara. I didn't mean... Her voice cracked. I never meant to make you suffer this much. For the first time, I saw it. The cracks beneath her calm, the tremor in her hands, the tear threatening to fall. She was human, fragile, and flawed. You're crying, I said, voice low, stunned. She pressed a hand to her face. I'm not, it's nothing. No, I said, stepping closer. It's everything. You think you can be perfect, control everything, manipulate everyone, but look at yourself. You can't even control your own tears, she didn't argue. The wine glass trembled in her hand. I trusted you, I said, voice shaking. And I loved you. And you used that love like a weapon. I know, she whispered, finally letting the tears fall. I know, and I'm sorry. The apology sounded hollow, but it was all I needed to hear before the rage and pain collided with clarity. I took a deep breath, looking around at the city sprawled below us. I don't need your money. I don't need your games. I don't need anything from you. She blinked, confused. Ethan, I'm walking away, I said, voice steady now. From you. From this life. From the 50 million you tried to bind me with. Keep it. Her lips parted, but no words came. I turned, feeling the weight of years of betrayal, love, and manipulation lifting with every step. Every memory of trust turned into lessons learned. You can't do this, she called softly. I just did, I said, voice calm but resolute. I forgive myself, Clara, and that's enough. The glass walls reflected my silhouette as I passed them, not as the man she wanted me to be, but as the man I was finally choosing to become. You think leaving fixes everything? She asked, voice trembling now. No, I said, but staying would make me part of your control forever. And I refuse that. Her tears ran freely now, and she didn't try to hide them. For the first time, she was just a person, not a master, not a manipulator. I exhaled one last time, my chest lighter, my mind sharper. Goodbye, Clara. I left the penthouse, the city lights below blurred by adrenaline and relief. The money, the control, the power, it all stayed behind, because for the first time I was free. Weeks passed. I stayed off the grid, hiding in plain sight. Lena visited daily, coffee in hand, gentle words that felt like balm on my raw nerves. You're not talking enough, she said one morning. Sitting beside me on the couch, I'm thinking, I replied, trying to sound calm, quiet, productive. You look exhausted, she said softly. Exhausted from running, from reliving everything. Maybe, I admitted. Or maybe I'm finally done running, she smiled. Good. That's what I wanted to hear. The apartment was quiet, just the hum of the city outside. I hadn't checked my messages in days. A ping on my phone startled me. I stared at the screen. Clara. My heart skipped. I almost deleted it. Almost. I opened it. The message read, "The board forced me out." They used me too. But I left you something. Check your account. I stared at the words. Lena leaned over my shoulder. What is it? I don't know yet, I said, hesitating. My thumb hovered over the banking app. The thought of seeing her name tied to money made my stomach twist. Do it, she urged. See for yourself. Whatever it is, you'll handle it. I logged in. The account balance blinked back at me. $50 million. Every penny returned. My breath caught. There was a note attached. You earned it. I stared at the screen. The weight of the past months, the betrayals, the manipulation, all of it crashed into me. And yet, for the first time, I didn't feel greed or triumph. Lena's hand found mine. Are you okay? I think so, I said. It's strange. Relief, mostly. And closure. I stared at the money. I could rebuild, buy freedom, live a life untouched by Clara's games. But I didn't. No, I whispered to myself, barely audible. Not this time. I tapped the delete button. The account vanished. The money disappeared. Just like that. Lena looked at me, confused. You're deleting it? Yes, I said. It's not mine. Not really. I don't need it. Some debts aren't meant to be repaid, she smiled softly. That's brave, and maybe the smartest move. I leaned back in my chair, letting the silence fill the room. It wasn't empty. It was freedom. I remembered Clara's words from that night in her penthouse. You survived me. That's the real test. I had survived. Not her, not the money, not the manipulations. Me. Only me. You know, Lena said quietly, you're finally smiling without shadows. I chuckled faintly. It took a while, but yes, I think I am. The city outside moved on, oblivious to my small victory. I sipped my coffee, letting it warm my hands. I thought about Clara, about the games, the lies, the love twisted into leverage. Part of me still ached, but it no longer controlled me. I whispered into the quiet room, barely audible over the hum of the city. Some debts aren't meant to be repaid. And for the first time in years, I believed it. The sun rose, spilling gold across the apartment. I felt light, free, alive. No money, no manipulation. No past could touch me now. I had my life back, and that was enough. Months later, I found myself in a cafe, coffee steaming in my hands, the city alive around me. My phone buzzed, a news alert. I ignored it at first. Old habits die slowly. Ethan, you have to see this, Lena said, sliding into the seat across from me, eyes bright. What is it? I asked, rubbing my temple. She held out her phone. Clara, on the news. She's well, just watch. I glanced at the screen. There she was. The woman who had shattered and rebuilt my life in ways I could never fully articulate. Alone, dethroned, yet her smile was faint, genuine in a way I hadn't seen in years. Good evening, she said, voice calm, polished. Today marks a new chapter. I'm starting a charity under Ethan Ward's name, for those misused, misunderstood, and betrayed in the corporate world. He taught me more than anyone I've ever known about loyalty, trust, and resilience. I leaned back, the chair creaking under me. She's using my name? I muttered. Lena shrugged. Seems like she's finally making amends. Or maybe she's still showing off. Who knows? I couldn't stop smiling. Amends or ego? Either way, Lena said softly, it looks like karma's got a name and it's yours. I laughed quietly. Karma always finds its way. I just didn't expect it to start with her. She watched me. Are you okay? I nodded. More than okay. I think I finally understand it all. Understand? Yes, I said, eyes tracing the city skyline outside the window. Love, revenge, they're reflections of the same pain. They push, pull, manipulate. They consume if you let them. But once you step back, you see the pattern. The lesson. And the freedom, Lena smiled. Sounds like someone finally found peace. I think I have, I admitted. Not perfect. Not without scars. But enough to breathe without weighing every step, every thought. The news continued in the background. Clara described the programs, the people helped, the goals. For the first time, I felt no bitterness, only clarity. She's changed? Lena asked, eyes curious. I don't know, I said. Maybe. Or maybe she just finally accepted that some games end whether you like it or not. I took a sip of my coffee, letting warmth fill the space I hadn't realized was empty for so long. You'll forgive her someday, Lena asked quietly. I shook my head. Forgiveness isn't mine to give. Not anymore. I've got something better. Perspective. I survived her and that's enough, she nodded. Perspective is worth more than gold. Outside, the city pulsed with life, indifferent to the petty battles and grand betrayals of the few. I walked to the window, watching people hurry past, faces unreadable. Yet in that anonymity, I found comfort. You're going to be okay, Lena said, voice close. I am, I whispered. I finally am. I turned from the window and left the cafe, city streets buzzing under my feet. Cars honked, vendors shouted, life went on. And I moved with it, not running, not hiding, but walking steadily, purposefully. I thought of Clara one last time. Her lessons, her manipulations, her betrayals, all of it shaped the man I had become. I couldn't undo the past, but I didn't want to. It had been the crucible that forged clarity, strength, and peace. I smiled faintly. Maybe freedom, I murmured to the empty street, was the only offer I couldn't refuse. Lena walked beside me, quiet now, letting me set the pace. We passed a park where children laughed, unaware of corporate wars, betrayals, or fortunes lost and gained. I envied their simplicity, yet I understood it could be mine too. Freedom in small moments, untethered from the weight of grudges or expectations. I exhaled, letting the air fill my lungs. It was clean, sharp, real. No strings attached, no debts owed, no manipulations lurking in shadows. The city stretched endlessly before me. Lights flickered in the dusk, and I felt something rare, serenity. The chaos that had consumed me for months, for years, seemed distant now. Like a storm I had survived on my own terms. I glanced at Lena. "Let's keep walking," I said. She nodded, a small smile tugging at her lips. And as we disappeared into the evening, I whispered one last truth into the wind, soft and steady. Some offers are meant to be taken, and some are meant to be refused. For the first time, I believed it completely.